get at first. I don't know if there was some controversy about um one of the prediction market things that uh wasn't it wasn't it was after the thing expired, it wasn't clear, I guess the way it was worded wasn't precise enough. Um but yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of risk of that sort of thing
Yeah,
on for
right.
sure. Like when we were looking at arbitrage, that was like the main risk, right? Because
Hmm.
like, one of them says on this day, the other one says before this day, right?
Yeah,
So like that alone, like it causes a lot of
right.
risk, right? I mean,
Right,
it's
sure.
risk that's
Absolutely.
manageable, right? But
Hmm.
but it is risk. You're right
Right,
about that.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, one way that we could do arbitrage that maybe is a little bit easier than going directly to the Polymarket and Kalshi. We have two new brokers and we have to get them both to work properly. Um, One way that might be easier is stock market or ETFs or options market or whatever versus Polymarket, right? Because if Polymarket is, for example, there's like earnings reports, right? It predicts earnings reports. So if Polymarket is saying, we're 80% likely to beat expectations, but the stock hasn't responded, that's another arbitrage opportunity as well, right? It doesn't have to be between
Um,
both prediction markets. It could be prediction market and a different like equity options or whatever.
yeah, sure. Right, right.
Yeah. So I think that's like an easier path. Like, I mean, kind of what I'm thinking is
Yeah.
like, let's just get it to work first, right? And then it really does seem like the arbitrage thing is a pretty important aspect of this. So we could actually look into doing the whole arbitrage thing, right? Even if it's not between two prediction markets, it can still be between one prediction market and a different broker, right?
Yeah, that's actually good. That's actually an easier path. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then later on we add Kalshi, and then now we could do like multiple brokers and whatever, right? Then that becomes easy. Gil, what do you think?
I would like it to pick the handicap for me, the Belmont fifth race. Tell me which horse to race on. That's where I'd like to go. I'm all about the betting side of it, absolutely. So now I know so little, Robert, about that stuff, and the only time I've ever even glanced at it is when you've mentioned it on here. So I I'm excited about it because I know so little about it, and I know it's seems to be where the future wave is headed, and that's where you need to head. So I'd like to know more about it. That's my side. I don't have any druthers or even how to even put anything together. I'm just looking to learn more about it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I think that path in general makes sense then, right? Let's see it working on my computer. Once I have it work on my computer, let's try to get it to work on BotSpot, right? And then once it's working on BotSpot, then we can start talking strategies, right? And we could talk about, connecting to more than one broker at a time. That's like a separate feature in and of itself. That will definitely take a lot of work, I'm sure. Um, but I think that path kind of makes sense. Just like get it working on BotSpot, see if we can actually build some strategies and try to actually see if we can get that to function. Um, we could also spend time on back testing. I think, well, when I created it, it did not include back testing, but I don't know how hard that would be to add. We could explore that avenue as well if you guys want. Would you find that useful to back test Polymarket?
Well, I would definitely like to see how to get their data, you know? I mean, because I think that's really important.
Their data is fairly easy to get.
Uh,
That's why I'm saying this. It's like pretty straightforward data.
yeah,
But back testing it can take some time. Like that in itself might take a while, right? I don't know how long, but you know. So that's why
yeah.
I'm asking, 'cause is it worth spending the time on it, right?
Hmm.
I'd ask what adds value to a bot spot and what keeps you on the leading edge of these type of things, and that'd be the direction I'd go, you know? Let's
Yeah.
make it work. Let's make it a value added for your website.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, yeah,
Okay,
you
cool.
know,
So let's
I mean, one of the things is that you know, as far as like you know, I mean, I haven't ever tried to get data from them, so I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of interested in seeing how
it
easy or
should
hard.
work pretty easily with LumiBot.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It should be pretty straightforward to grab this data from
Uh-huh.
Polymarket for LumiBot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Did we I think we added documentation around that even. Let me just check our GitHub. GitHub and LumiBot. This thing is definitely still growing. Let's see actually. We're getting a lot of GitHub stars. Where did that go? Again, it disappeared. What the hell? What are we at? We're at 8.1. Doesn't even say anymore. Okay. Um, yeah, in our, I think we mentioned Polymarket here. Yeah. We bought BotSpot. Polymarket is on the list. Prediction markets, Polymarket trading and backtesting. Yeah, so we actually do talk about it in our documentation. Yeah, so this is pretty well documented. I mean, I think this will just kind of work, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm overly optimistic, but Polymarket, there it is, one of our brokers. Trading broker asset. We have like a new asset type, which is a prediction contract. That's a new asset type. Okay, so why don't we let's jump into this. Let's see what we could do here. In the meantime, I'm gonna get an agent to look into this again. Like, what the hell? It's a little small thing. Can you please take a look at the LumiBot project? And for some reason, again, on this page, if you go down to project growth, for some reason, the graph is gone again. It says your GitHub token is invalid or expired. I thought we fixed this. Like you could read chat history and stuff. Like we've already fixed this. Why is this broken again? Okay. And then let's do. Okay, so we want to improve on our Polymarket integration. First of all, I want to make sure that it's actually working on my computer, so we can place trades and see if all that works. We got it integrated. We worked on documentation for it, so it seems to be pretty well documented in LumiBot. Um, Whether it's trading, I thought we got it to trade, but we could double check whether that's working correctly and whether there's any other issues with trading there. Because it's a little weird. When I log into my Polymarket account, let me actually show you what I see. Oh, for some reason I got this here. Computer's going a little slow right now. Come on. It's crazy how fast the computer goes from being the best in the world to slowing down. Yeah, so look at this. So basically, I guess I deposited $29 and then it shows that two got withdrawn, $5 each, but I have no idea where this money went. I think it has something to do with the crypto side of things of how we traded it. There's probably a bunch of documentation around this. So what happened to each of those $5 and why is it not in my position history or anything like that? We're doing it through the API and through LumiBot, so there's probably some sort of disconnect there. But I would really like this to show up on the regular website. So like, why is that not showing up there, first of all? And like, what happened to my bets? I don't know what happened to them. And then we also want to, so first of all, we want to get this to work on my computer properly, see it actually bet. I want to be able to see it on the website, confirm the bet happened, watch the bet, and we can actually trade with it. I want to make sure that that all works properly. And then we probably want to explore the idea of back testing. And does that even make sense? Or how difficult would it be to get back testing to work? That's something I'm on the fence about whether it even makes sense for us to do or not. It depends on the complexity of it. Is it going to be something that's easy to do or not? And then we want to get this thing to actually work on BotSpot itself, so people can like connect their poly market and actually trade with it. But I have a feeling that there's something weird with the setup because like it's not syncing with the website properly. So I mean the ideal would be that there's some sort of OAuth connection or some way of like I mean, I guess API keys is maybe the way that we did it now. That's okay, right? OAuth would be better if possible. I don't even know if that's possible or not. And then, being able to have this actually work on BotSpot and be able to trade a strategy on BotSpot with Polymarket, right? I'd like to figure out how to get that to work. So what do you think? Can you please do your research around this and let me know what you think? And what do you think should be our game plan here? What do you think we should do? And what questions do you have for me? Let me know what questions you have for me. Okay, cool. So I'll let it go off and do its research. All right, and then this alpha picks thing finished up as well. So let's see. Okay, so it's saying here, okay, bottom line, no, the deployment is not working correctly end-to-end schedule. The latest runs failed. Schedule needs attention because the schedule remained enabled, but the last invocation failed. It does not mean the scheduler was disabled. Okay, the existing test actually protects this existing behavior. The historical return endpoint currently has 8 daily points from the front end downloads those. Okay, this is stupid that it's hiding that. Okay, it must not override a new broker value with the final state chart value. Okay, what is failing? The current deployment uses version 103. It does not contain direct selection logic. Calculate the current top two eligible picks. Compare them with the broker positions, and exit positions are no longer targets, however, has two implementation defects. Schedule state serializes LumiBot asset objects into dictionaries. On that next run, it unchanged symbols are not reconstructed. After submitting exits, the strategy returns immediately because this runs once daily. Replacements are not purchased during the same invocation. Stop earlier because self-packs have not refreshed. So first of all, I disagree with you about this alpha pick source. You're saying that it hasn't up refreshed since July 7th. I don't care if it hasn't refreshed since July 7th. Maybe we should take a look into that really quickly as well. Um, Let me actually check the database real quick. Let's see. Stupid Windows computer restarted itself. It required me to log in or something. So I'll look into that separately. What? I'm on my Windows computer here. Okay. It's a Windows computer. We need to figure out how to make this thing more resilient. Okay, so we'll focus on that. Missing UI items. Then please don't worry about the missing UI items. We're gonna do all that with another agent. That's not your purview. Just leave that alone. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, and then in terms of the allocation per symbol, um, I think this needs to be almost like a scaling thing. So 25% is a lot, right? Yeah, you're saying you recommend this adaptive per symbol budget. Okay, because the thing is that a small account, the problem with a small account is that, yeah, I guess what you're doing here is it's a floor, right? So it's either 15% of the account value, so a $5,000 account times 15% would be $750, but that's too small to actually buy an options position reasonably. So then you're saying that it should do 1250, which is 25% of 5,000. Is that 25% of 5,000? Yeah, 1250. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I agree with that change. Yeah, so basically the idea here is that a smaller account will take more risk at the beginning and then lower its risk as the account gets bigger, assuming it gets bigger, right? Right. So presumably, if we had a 68% drawdown, so I guess presumably if we had a 68% drawdown at 25% allocation, then if we lower that to 15%, that's almost half. That'll bring us to like a 30, let's say 40% drawdown. That's still a bit aggressive. I mean, I would go even further down. I'd go to like 12% personally. What do you guys think? Like I think a drawdown of something around 30% seems re more reasonable to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I have to agree. 30% is something that you can tolerate, you know.
Yeah.
You don't like it, but it's not like gonna,
30's always been my kind of
yeah.
target to try to get even bots 30 or below.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of been my target as well, just because that's kind of what the S&P 500 does, right?
Mm.
Like an S&P 500 over a 5 to 10 year period, it's going to be around a 35% drawdown. So that's